Hello. Today I want to talk to you about how to outline your book in 3 easy steps. I've got my amazing friend here, my outline that I created for myself and for my clients. And I really want you to get this information in your mind. And I want you to really start to embody this process, because once you get this in your bones and you start writing, everything that you write will become a much higher, better quality piece of content. You will hear noise in the background because I do have my sliding glass door open, because it is a beautiful 77 degrees here and mostly sunny here in the beautiful Philadelphia. So you will hear lots of noise in the background because I've got that window open, because I love solar energy and I love fresh air. So my apologies for the noise. It is what it is. Okay, so quick story, boys and girls. Sit on the carpet, crisscross applesauce. I got a story for you. So I wrote my first book in 2017. I thought I was the bomb.com. Turns out I wasn't. The book sold a couple hundred copies in the first 6 months. Okay, that was nice. After the first year, nobody even remembered that it was around anymore. So I literally, because my ego was getting the best of me, I literally just went on Facebook one day and I said, hey, who wants to read my book for free? And a couple people raised their hands and I just gave them the manuscript. I emailed it to them and I said, you can have it for free. Please give me feedback. Let me know what you think. Be honest and open and transparent. And every single one of those people were honest, transparent, and I got the feedback. There was one particular person who messaged me on LinkedIn, sent me a direct message on LinkedIn and was like, hey, I got your book. I read it and I want to give you some feedback. And I was so glad, first of all, that they had taken their time to read my book. But I was terrified to actually sit down and have a conversation, because this person didn't just want to give me an email. No, they wanted to get on a Zoom and they really wanted to go through and talk about this book. And I was like, yikes. I just knew I was going to get bombarded with a bunch of negativity. And it was a 2-hour long Zoom meeting, and it was a tough pill to swallow. Like at the end, I had this lump in my throat, like, oh my God, I felt like the person just ripped me apart. And it was literally one of the best things that could ever happen to me as an author and a professional writer who takes this career very seriously. And so for those of y'all that don't know me, let me just give you a quick background story to give you some context. I graduated from Grambling State University in 1998, and I was a history major. And so one of the things that we did for fun was we sat around a round table and we chopped up each other's research papers, because we were researching things, from history, from a historical perspective. And we all had different things that we were interested in. And we would sit down. This is a Black college now. This is a historically Black college in Louisiana. And we would sit down and we would literally chop each other's papers. I mean, rip it up to shreds with a red pen. And then we would come back to each other. We would be sitting there, we would be reading, and then we would pass it to the next person. So by the time that paper got back to you, your paper was completely red. And you literally felt deflated, because you walked up in there like, yeah, I did this research paper. I followed the citation format. I did what the professor told me to do. And this was actually, we did peer reviews before we sent it to our professors. So the professors got a chance to see our work in a very polished form, because we had already decided as colleagues that we were going to chop each other's papers up so that we could go back to the drawing board and fix them and then come back and, get the A that we deserved, right? From going through all that harassment. So anyway, that happened for many years, right? I graduated in 4.5 years because I had a double major, one in history, one in criminal justice. And so literally when I graduated, I felt like I had been through the ringer when it came to my writing. And I felt like my writing was a high level. And I felt like it was excellent until I started writing books. Fast forward to 2017. Okay. So from 1998 to 2017, I had a whole bunch of things happen in between. Got married, had children, went back to school, got my master's degree, then decided to go ahead and produce a book and threw it out into the world. And this person shredded it all up in a 2-hour Zoom session and proceeded to tell me all the things that were wrong, from not only from the storytelling perspective, but also from the formatting and just the overall publication of the book. They said things like, well, the table of contents just looks really ugly. I mean, they used words like that. I was just like, but you know what? I needed that. And I appreciated that. And that person and I are still friends today. And matter of fact, I just had that book reviewed again by another person 2 months ago. And this person took the time to read it, chop it up, give me the feedback. And I was like, wow, okay, thank you so much. And there was a lot of feedback, and a lot of it was corrective feedback, not just, this is, I need you to elaborate more on this. It was like just very, very detailed, very in-depth analysis of what I wrote. And so I'm telling you this to tell you that I am a professional writer. I am an author of 8 books. I am an author, coach, mentor who does this for a living. And there are still things that people will look at my work and they will give me corrective feedback. And I will go back. Most of the time, I will go back and I will revisit that work and I will make it better. Okay. And so for you, if this is the first time that you've ever written a book, and that's why you're attracted to me, because I help people who are doing this for the first time, because I want you to do this the right way so that you are not embarrassed when you get bad reviews, because it's inevitable. Okay. I don't want your ego to be crushed and destroyed because of something that somebody said about your work. And it happens easily because when you write something, it's like you're expressing your inner being. You're bearing your soul. Okay. That is a very, very serious enterprise. When you are bearing your soul, you are sharing with the people the things that are in your mind as your own personal, intimate thoughts. And so we have to separate, and this is what I teach people to do in my community. We have to separate our own personal, emotional story from the actual purpose of the book. Those are 2 separate things. Okay. So we've got your personal, emotional story, and then we've got the moral, the lesson, the book. Those are 2 separate things, okay? But a lot of times when you're just starting out as an author, you mesh all of that together and you feel like, I need to tell my story. This is an important story. Everyone needs to know what happened to me. Everyone needs to know. And no, everyone doesn't need to know what happened to you. And not only that, there's not a whole lot that you need to say in order to prove a point. Okay. So I just gave you a quick little background. I've only been on here for 10 minutes. I gave you a quick little background story about when I was in college and my colleagues, peers, classmates, we used to do peer reviews and they would chop up my research papers. And during that time, it hurt my feelings and it made me feel this big. But in the end, in the long term, it made me a much better, stronger writer. Okay. I also told you a quick story about a person who recently, 2017, reviewed my book and told me that the table of contents was ugly. Oh my gosh, that person was correct. It was ugly. I had to go back and fix it. And then just 2 months ago, someone reviewed that same book and gave me more corrective feedback. And at this point, I may or may not go back and make any corrections. It just depends on how I feel, and it depends on what I'm doing and what I'm promoting at the time. I told you these things because I want you to get out of your head and get into your paper. Okay? I want you to get out of your feelings and get into what you're putting in your book. I want you to get out of your own emotional trauma, and I want you to get into this outline. Okay? Because this outline is going to take you from being in your artsy fartsy flow, in your creative flow. Okay? This is going to make the writing process scientific, because it's going to make your thoughts logical. It's going to make your manuscript flow. It's going to make sense. It's going to give you some structure. And this is what I do. And this is what I've been doing for the past 20 years, whether it's been in the high school English classes, in the high school history classes, whether it's been in a psychology class, economics, or finance, whatever I teach people how to write so that it flows and it's structured and it makes sense to somebody else's brain. Okay. And that's really what you're doing as a writer. You are producing work that's going to make sense to someone else's brain. So let's take a look at my outline. The name of this is How to Outline Your Book in 3 Easy Steps. Okay. So there's 3 parts to this outline. The first part is your really quick author bio. Okay, really quick. That's the top of the outline. It's where it says your full name, your profession, today's date, and your job title. That's very basic. I'm just asking you for basic information. Okay, there may be a story behind your profession. There may be a story behind your name. There may be a story behind your job title. But we don't want to know any of that. You just give me a 1 to 2 word answer and you're done. That's part 1. Okay. You just answer that. Now, why do I ask you for your name, your profession, and your job titles? Well, because that whole small section could literally be the intro that you give to an event planner as they are announcing you to come out to the stage. Keep it. Some event planners ask you for 50 words. Some ask you for 250. Some ask you for 100. You need to just be ready for whatever it is. Okay. So I'm asking you literally for 1, 2, 3, 4 words for the very top of that outline. You see that? Quick and dirty. Okay. Then the next part of the outline is step 2. You're going to use what I call the 3E framework, where you are going to get a little bit more juicy and more detailed. See, sorry about the traffic. I already told you. I live on quite a busy street. The 3E framework allows you to bring the people in a little bit more. And this kind of goes into a hook. Okay, so this is the part where you want to get people interested and grab their attention. So we're just going to start out with the basic format, okay? The basic framework. So this is literally step 2. Tell the people about your experience in life. And I literally have a question here that says, what have you experienced in life that most people have not? Okay, so you're going to just give them something about you that they may not know. Okay, then you go into your expertise. What are you licensed to do? What are you certified to do? Okay, that goes into your credibility. What have you studied that you just love to study? What are your degrees in? Okay, and then here's the juicy, juicy, juicy part of it that you're going to include. What are your emotional triggers? Now, you're not going to stay here. You're just going to visit this space very quickly. Okay, this is just going to be a very quick part of your outline. So, what makes you mad? What makes you happy? And what makes you proud? That's it. If you can do 1 or 2 or 3 word answers in this space, that would be awesome. Now, what is all this going to do? What does this have to do with your book? Right? This is all setting the stage for people to get interested in what you're going to talk about. You're giving them context. Just like I told you stories about me getting my books reviewed by other people, that is very relevant to this conversation. Because if you are a first-time writer, first-time author, you're going to put your book out pretty soon. You've had this dream, you've been wanting to do it. I do not want you to be embarrassed by a whole bunch of bad reviews. And trust me, if someone finds your book online and they don't like it, you will get a ton of bad reviews, which hurts, right? And everybody's going to get it, but you don't want to get an avalanche. You don't want to get bombarded, right? 1 or 2 or 3 here and now and then is fine, right? Because eventually you're going to have more fans than foes. And so that's okay. But you want to set yourself up for success, and you want to produce a manuscript that is professional. Okay. And so in order for it to be professional, it needs to flow. And so you need to have an outline, which gives you structure. Okay. So the first part is just basic details about you, your profession. The second part is the 3E framework. The third part of your book is your actual thesis statement, which will go in the introduction, or it'll go in chapter 1. You decide. Okay. Or this can just be a 1-page preface. It's up to you. You're the author. You control where it goes. But this is how you need to start your book so that people understand exactly what they're going to be getting from spending their time reading this. Okay. So under the thesis, it's going to be, what is your purpose for writing? Why are you writing this book? What is your why? Okay. The next part is, what topic will this book be about? So what is your topic? What group of people need this message the most? Okay. And then what are 3 lessons that your readers will take away? Boom, done, quick and dirty. Okay. Now, when you answer these questions, you will have a very clear, concrete introduction for people to read. This could actually even turn into a blog post. Okay. This could turn into a LinkedIn article. This could turn into anything that you want it to turn into. It could turn into an online course, a journal, a workbook. This could turn into a podcast episode. It could turn into a movie script. It could turn into an ebook, an audiobook. This can turn into anything, because this is the beginning of a professional manuscript. So this will not apply to fiction or science fiction or romance, erotica, horror, children's books. This doesn't apply to those. You could tweak it to make it work, but why do that, right? The outline that I've created, the one you see in front of you today, has been perfected over the past 7 years from me getting feedback from my clients. My clients pay me to walk them through this outline and to get their books set up appropriately before they get ready to write and publish. This is the first 3 steps to getting anything on paper. Okay, so let's go over those 3 steps again. So step 1 is basic information at the very top of the outline. So it's your name, it's your profession, and it's your job titles. Basically, what do you do in the world? What is your role? Okay. Then step 2 is the 3E framework, where you're going to dig a little bit deeper into who you are as a person, as the author. And then the last part is your actual thesis statement, where you're going to tell people why they're reading this and what they're going to take away. Done. When this is done, your book is done. Like literally, you can put this on the refrigerator and you can come back to this in 3 to 4 days and you can literally write your book based on what you have here. Okay. All right. Now there is another page to this, and I'm going to share this extra page with you for those of you that need even more support, right? Some of you might be like, okay, well, that's great. Like that's good to get me started. But what about the chapters? Like, what do I put in these chapters? All right. I got something for you. Okay. So here is an actual breakdown of how you're going to write your introduction. Okay. And this is so beautiful because it's similar to what you would do if you were giving a speech. So you've got in the introduction, the very first part is a hook. So that could be a question. It could be statistics. It could be a quote. It could be a scripture, something creative to get people interested in what you have to say. Okay. So if you think of it, you could actually go to AI and type in, please give me a great hook for my book on the topic of whatever the topic is. Okay. So you could ask AI to tell you, give me some data around whatever it is that I'm talking about, or give me a controversial statement, or give me some type of a scandal that relates to what I'm talking about, right? So you could easily get help from AI for the hook. The next part that you want to go into after the hook is your thesis statement, which we already talked about on the previous page. And in your thesis statement, it's going to be 3 main points. And you're going to create a short bulleted list there and explain those points in detail below. So the thesis has 3 main points. In the body of your book or essay, because this is similar to an essay or research paper, you're going to go point 1, point 2, point 3. And then in the conclusion, you're going to restate your thesis and summarize your main points. Done. It's like a hamburger, right? You got the buns, which hold everything together. Then you got the hamburger in the middle. 1 or 2 patties, depending on how greedy you are, right? Lettuce, tomatoes, ketchup, pickles, whatever you want, onions, mayonnaise, I don't know. Whatever you want in the middle, those are your details, facts, data, details, statistics, stories, antidotes, case studies, whatever you want to put in there. Is really, really, to make it juicy, it's really up to you. Okay. So this is the introduction, body, and conclusion of your book. So now, how do you flip this and literally turn it into chapters? Because now, after you do all this brain work, now you want to figure out what to name your chapter. So how do you do that? Here we go. This will get your brain thinking. Think of a theme song for each chapter. Each chapter should be able to stand on its own merit. You can have fewer chapters if you want. It's totally up to you. Have fun with it. So I just give you enough room for 10 chapters, but it doesn't have to be 10 chapters. It can be 4 chapters. As long as you are hitting on all those 3 main points that you wanted to address in your book. And so that's it. That is all I wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to break down how to outline your book in 3 easy steps. This outline is actually available for free. And if you want this outline, all you need to do is just type the word outline, and I will send you the link to get this book for free, or to get this outline for free. Especially if you are writing a book for the first time and you have no experience, no idea where to start. this is a good place to start. If you don't even know what topic you should be writing about, I have a whole nother worksheet that gives you a list of topics for you to think about. And it's a brainstorming worksheet to get your brain to start coming up with topics that would relate to you. Again, this outline works best for a nonfiction book. It works the absolute best for a book where you are delivering a framework or a system. And you may not have all that worked out yet, but if you have a business and you have a product already and you want to attract leads to your business and promote your products, this outline is ideal for you because it's gonna, for the first time in your life, you're gonna have to sit down and really do some soul searching and think about what it is that your business is doing in the world. What is it that you want people to experience with coming into your business and learning about your products? This is going to make you sit down and put these ideas on paper so that when it comes time to put it into your book, you will already know what you're supposed to be writing. You will never again sit in front of a computer and just start typing. No, you will from now on and forevermore raise your right hand, put your right hand over your heart, right? You will use this structured process to get your ideas out so that it makes sense to another person's brain. Okay, because our brain loves patterns, it loves flow, and it loves structure, and it loves organization. And that's what this outline does for you. It provides you with structure and organization, and it allows your ideas to flow right out onto the page. So if you want this outline, raise your hand, type the word outline. I will send you a link so that you can download it for free off of my website. And that is it. That is all I wanted to share with you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure if you are on my YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because guess what? I'm back here like almost every day because I just love doing this. I love doing this. Like, this is a lot of fun for me. And also, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2024. And I know I can do it with your help. And I know I can do it. I know we can do it. If you send this video out to a friend, send it not just to any friend, send it to a friend who you know should write a book. Someone who has a lot of knowledge and wisdom and expertise, and they just understand things really well, and they should be teaching things. Send this video to them because I want them to understand how to structure their ideas into an organized fashion. And then maybe they'll actually write a book, right? Because a lot of times really smart people, they do things very well and they understand concepts, but it's not that easy for them to transfer their knowledge to another human being. So that's where this comes in, because I allow them to plug their knowledge into a very structured, organized format. And then from this format, they can flow and write their book or even talk their book, right? I'm going to be teaching on how to talk your book out using different online tools. I'm going to be teaching that in my challenge coming up on June 3rd. So if you want this outline, this is also going to be a part of the challenge. If you want me to walk you through the outline and teach you how to use the outline, then you absolutely need to be coming into my challenge. The price is only $47. That gives you access to 5 days of trainings like this. You also get access to my private membership community where I answer questions all day long regarding book publication, book sales, promotion, everything, all books, okay? And you will get access to one group coaching call per month. And this month, It's coming up on June 11th. So if you join now, you will be able to be a part of the community, and you'll be able to get in there and rub elbows with some other successful authors who have worked with me in the past or in the present. And you will just be able to get your name and your face out there and get the visibility that you need to be a successful author. So that is all I have for you today. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Happy reading and happy writing.